At the Metro Court pool, Sunny meets Carly, who is concerned about their family's safety after what happened to Marco. Sunny explains that her brother turned him in to the cops. Michael and Wiley arrive for their swim lesson and greet their parents. He takes Wiley to his lesson, and Carly tells Sunny she can't believe Lucas called the cops. Sunny claims he wasn't caught because Marco showed there and made up a tale about where he was. He explains that he and Sidwell have to an understanding. Carly wonders if this means her family is no longer in danger. Michael appears and wants to know for himself. Michael joins them, and Sunny tells that Sidwell has eased off Measure C, so things will improve. Given the danger, Michael continues to support Sasha's decision to leave town with Daisy. Sunny can't help but wonder if his son hadn't been hurt, if he and Willow could have reached an agreement. However, Drew took advantage of his injury, so this couldn't happen. Carly is aware that Willow and Drew are getting married today, and wonders how Michael is handling the situation. Michael admits that his relationship with Willow is over, and he cannot trust her around the children. Michael explains that Willow believes he is punishing her, and she cannot see that he is protecting the children because she has gone so far. Marco and Lucas talk about their situation. Marco and Lucas awake in Marco's bed. Lucas acknowledges he could grow used to this, and Marco concurs. They talk about what happened to Marco. Lucas claims he was terrified for him, and that if he hadn't returned, he'd be far more upset than he should be at this point in their relationship. Marco recalls their first meeting in Miami, when he realized he was special, and this could be his opportunity at love. He swears he will not let anything separate them. Lucas says don't take this the wrong way, but he's glad they didn't sleep together the first night. Now they can see where this goes. Lucas wonders if he needs to check in at work because he's been absent for several days. Marco assures him that his bosses know not to anticipate him. Lucas takes a stand. Lucas and Marco walk to the pool, but when they see Sunny, Carly, and Michael, Marco advises they return to their rooms. He does not want to be the cause Lucas is fighting with his family. Lucas says he must do this for himself and heads towards his family. When Sunny sees Lucas, he begins to walk away, claiming he has something to attend to. Lucas follows him. Carly talks to Michael about the day, which she knows will be difficult for the children. She tells him that everything will be all right. Michael realizes Wiley's lesson is almost up, so he has to tell him what's going on with his mother. Lucas calls with Sunny and sarcastically thanks him for providing him the key, as if it were a favor, given that he took Marco in the first place. Sunny tells Lucas he has no idea what's going on or who the players are. Marco is all right, and the next time you're concerned about him, don't call the cops. Sunny goes away. Lucas then confronts Carly about Marco's health, and how Sunny informed him that he has no right to be angry, because he does not understand what is going on. Carly believes Sunny is correct, and he should not have gone to the police. Will Trina and Kai reunite? At the cafe, Kai meets Trina. He knows she feels he betrayed her, but his feelings for her haven't changed, and he'd do anything for things to be the same again. She asks why he's dressed in a suit. He explains that he's going to Drew and Willow's wedding. That, according to Trina, is why they cannot go back. Can Curtis save Portia's career? Curtis visits Portia's office. He received a text from her indicating that she was staying here last night and inquires as to whether she did so for work or because she did not want to return home. She explains that she wants to make the most of her time at GH, as this is likely her last day. She is submitting her resignation today. She informs him that she notified Willow about Drew's blackmail, and that she has no choice than to quit in order to go with her dignity. She requested Trina to come by and explain everything, but Curtis implored her not to resign and to give him another day. Curtis suggests that Drew may not have Willow to fight for much longer, so he might not need to blackmail them. Portia claims Drew would punish them much harder if he lost Willow, since that is the type of guy he is. Curtis says Willow might cancel the wedding, and perhaps he knows something. He swears to fight for her and keep her employment, even if it means betraying a friend. Portia is not following. Curtis admits it's a long shot, but if his plan works, Drew may simply leave to DC and forget about them. Trina arrives and asks what her parents need to discuss with her. Curtis claims her mother was just being overprotective, because they knew she had broken up with Kai. Portia says she can discuss it with them at any time. Trina acknowledges their timing is ideal, as she had just run into Kai. He claimed to still care about her, and she believed him, but she was hurt and disappointed. However, she continues to care about him. She claims Kai believes he did the right thing and refuses to recognize Drew for who he truly is. Curtis claims Kai betrayed his promise to her, and he must accept that sometimes you have to make concessions for the ones you care about. On that remark, Curtis must leave since he has an important task to complete. Alone, Trina asks her mother what this is all about, and what her father is going to do. Alexis visits Drew and asks him to reconsider his plans. Drew understands her reservations about him and Willow, but he assures her that this marriage will be ideal for Scout. He is confident that Willow will soon win custody of her children and migrate to DC. He swears not to separate her from Scout, who is her connection to her mother. Alexis advises Drew not to notify Scout until the transfer is finalized, as Scout should become accustomed to Willow before making such a significant change. Drew agrees but knows Scout adores Willow. Alexis wants him to be happy. She wants Scout to be happy, and she understands that he will always prioritize Scout's happiness over his own. Drew compliments Scout on her clothing, and expresses his pride in her for welcoming Willow into their family. Scout can't wait for everyone to move in and for Danny, Rocco, Grandma, and her aunts to pay her frequent visits. Plus, she knows her father will be pleased. They embrace and Alexis gives Drew a glance. Later, Kai arrives with Drew's passport. Drew, dressed in his suit, surprises Willow with a honeymoon in France. He believes that everything that has happened to Willow has taken its toll, and that this will help her forget about her problems. He remembers Willow telling him what she did on the 4th. As they talk about love, Kai discloses that he and Trina split up. Drew understands it's due of what he did for him. Kai says that he promised Trina that he would not inform him about her parents' plans. But he couldn't keep quiet because Trina's parents were planning to frame him for something he didn't commit. Albrecht enters the chapel and runs into Liz, causing Nina to realize something. They both concede that Maxie did an excellent job organizing everything from New York, and Albrecht swallows her dislike for Liz just for today. She feels it's a shame all these lovely flowers had to be sacrificed for a failed wedding. In the bridal room, Nina offers Willow a borrowed jewelry. Willow expresses gratitude to her mother for making this day possible, saying she owes everything to her. Liz and Albrecht join Nina and Willow in the bride's room. Willow expresses gratitude for their presence. Liz departs with Willow to inspect her bouquet, as Maxie has instructed. Nina tells Albrecht that Willow looks so happy. Albrecht observes that it is the same smile she had when she learned Sasha and Daisy had departed Port Charles. Albrecht claims to be a doctor and cannot participate in tormenting a newborn. Nina muses on Drew saying that he did not torment Daisy, and then returns to Willow's reaction to learning that Sasha and Daisy had departed. She starts to lose it. Scout and Alexis arrive, and everyone compliments Scout's dress. Scout also has a gift for Willow. Nina, upset, says she's going to go out for a second since she left a gift for Willow in the car. Willow opens the present, which is a photograph of them. Willow adores it and cannot wait to be a part of her family. Alexis becomes tearful when Scout asks if Willow wants her to call her mother. Willow informs Scout that she can call her whatever she likes, but her mother will always be there for her, and will always be a part of her. They embrace. Albrecht tells Alexis she's sad for the loss of her daughter, and they are members of a dreadful club. Liz believes it is time for them to leave Willow to get ready. Willow requests that they send her mother in. Liz stays behind to help Willow dress. Ava enters the chapel and sees Nina in tears. She tells her friend to relax because things may be crazy now, but they will calm down. Nina informs her that things are worse than she expected. Nina tells Ava about the conflict between Sasha and Daisy. Ava suspects it has something to do with Sonny and his adversaries, while Nina admits she is concerned it was Willow. According to Nina, Willow is familiar with the estate, knows where the cameras are, and has access to the hospital's nursery. She was capable of orchestrating all of Daisy's odd happenings. Ava believes it's a reach. Willow has committed mistakes, yet she is well known for her kindness, sweetness, and sympathetic nature. Nina describes Willow's smile when she saw Sasha had left town with Daisy, as if she was overjoyed that her plan had worked. In the show's final moments, Lucas tells his sister that he never agreed to her code of silence about Sonny, and that they are divorced, so why is she keeping his secrets? Is it because of Donna? Carly says, Yet, Lucas reminds her of everything that Sunny has cost her, particularly Morgan. Carly refuses to discuss her son's death with him. She tells Lucas to look at himself. Since his return, he almost got back with Brad, and now he's in bed with Marco, whom he hardly knows. Carly argues the problem isn't that simple, and he can't see it because Marco is the first guy he's fallen for since Brad, and that's all he's thinking about. She storms off. Sunny visits Marco in his room. Sunny doesn't anticipate a thank you, and he tells Marco to stay out of his way. Portia tells Trina in her office that she is unsure what Curtis should do, but both she and her father are devastated by what happened to Kai. Going forward, she must do what is best for herself, not what she believes her parents want her to do. Their troubles should not be hers. She also tells her people that they are defective and cannot live up to the expectations of others, including herself. Back at the pool, Michael informs Wiley that his mother will be married Uncle Drew today. Wiley yells out that he does not want that. He wants his mother to marry his father. Michael understands how sad he is, but he and his mother will always love each other. They embrace. Kai tells Drew that he will see him at church, but wishes him and Willow luck. He understands they've gone through a lot. Drew believes that will make this day even sweeter. In the church, Nina informs Ava that she has been blind to Willow for far too long, and Drew has done this to her daughter. She can't take it any longer and is finally done. Nina storms out. Curtis enters the room where Willow is getting dressed. He cuts her off and reveals that her mother and Drew were sleeping together before and after the 4th of July, during the time she was falling in love with Drew. On the next General Hospital, Sunny warns Marco that he will not have any problems if he stays out of his father's business. Sidwell tells Lucy that it's all about peaceful coexistence. Molly tells Cody at the pool, "I guess I managed to surprise you." Christina also says, "This is exactly what I was afraid of." Drew tells Scout at the church that they will all live happily ever after. Willow asks Nina, "Did you and Drew have an affair?" General Hospital spoilers are here for Friday, July 25th, 2025. Drew Kane and Willow Tate deal with wedding day tension in tomorrow's episode. Lucas Jones argues with Carly Spencer. Plus, Lucy Coe extends an invitation. Continue reading and let's discuss what's coming up on the ABC soap show. Willow Tate's wedding drama. Let's start with Willow, who is preparing to marry Drew. Liesel Orbrecht, on the other hand, is well aware that Willow has a serious problem. She also demands that the tie be cut soon. The wedding fallout appears to be imminent. Willow confronts Nina Reeves in a room and demands an answer. "Have you and Drew had an affair?" Drew Kane's assurance. Drew makes a pledge to Scout Kane. In a sample film, the congressman assures the little girl that they will live happily ever after. Sonny Corinthos warning General Hospital spoilers for Friday, July 25th show that he meets up with Marco Rios. The mob boss adds, "You won't be touched as long as you stay out of your father's business." Fans of soap operas know that something always happens. Marco might find himself in an impossible situation with Jen Sidwell. Furthermore, Sidwell will be plotting retribution against Sunny. On Friday, July 25th, 2025, Lucas will clash with Carly about Sunny. Meanwhile, Christina Corinthos Davis silently observes someone. Christina receives some information from Michael Corinthos on the same day. Molly Lansing Davis surprised Cody Bell. Meanwhile, Ava Jerome is unsettled. Cody and Christina must exercise caution when executing their plan. "I'd hate to see Molly get wounded again." Also, Sidwell informs Lucy Coe that it is all about peaceful coexistence. However, Lucy appears to be very rattled in the preview clip. It is also hinted that Lucy will eventually issue an invitation. I'm wondering if Sidwell will use Lucy to exact revenge on Sunny. Sidwell cares about his children but appears to have no regard for anyone else. During the Africa plot, fans witnessed how swiftly he got rid of his girls. So, I believe Lucy will be collateral damage as well. Which narrative are you most looking forward to witnessing on Friday, July 25th, 2025? Share your opinions in the comments area below. Keep watching ABC soap operas to find out what happens next. Nina had always been a force to be reckoned with, but now that the tension in Port Charles had reached a fever pitch, she was fully prepared to put herself in the eye of the storm. Her life had spiraled out of control for months, with secrets, betrayals, and regrets, But nothing hit her harder than the news that Drew was planned to propose to Willow. It didn't matter that Nina had been feuding with her daughter for months. It didn't matter that Willow rarely spoke to her. What mattered now was Nina's growing panic in her chest at the prospect of Drew Kane, a man she still didn't trust, becoming a permanent part of her daughter's life. Drew had changed. Nina noticed it in the way he held himself, in the brutal precision with which he made judgments. He wasn't the same man who had previously been Jason's quiet rival or Carly's second chance. He had gained an edge. He was reserved, calculating, and concerned with control. Nina couldn't ignore the notion that something darker lurked beneath Drew's meticulously manicured exterior. So when she overheard that he intended to propose to Willow, she responded impulsively, protectively, and vowed that it would not happen. She did not approach Willow first. This would have been a waste of time. Their relationship was tenuous, held together by the most delicate threads of decency. If Nina pushed too hard, Willow would pull away again, and she couldn't risk losing the connection completely. Instead, Nina went straight to Drew. She confronted him outside the Metro Court, her voice composed but her eyes blazing with determination. "You will not marry my daughter," she stated bluntly. Drew smirked, almost pleased by her audacity. "That's not your decision to make, Nina. It is when your presence in her life threatens everything I've tried to build with her," she told me. "You're reckless and I don't trust you." His amusement wore off quickly. Drew was no stranger to confrontations, but Nina's audacity hit a chord. He'd spent months attempting to provide stability for Scout, Willow, and even Carly before it all collapsed. And now Nina was trying to undercut him, as if he hadn't earned his position. "Do you think I am the problem? Have a good look in the mirror." Drew shot back. "Willow's only just starting to breathe again after everything you've put her through. I'm not going to let you sabotage her future because you don't like the fact that I'm a part of it." Nina refused to back down. "If you really cared about her," she added, her voice low and cutting, "you'd stay away." The tension between them was palpable. Drew did not reply right away. He simply stared at her, the quiet stretching out like a stretched wire. He knew Nina wasn't to be underestimated, but he also knew he wasn't going to abandon Willow simply because her mother had decided to play gatekeeper. Not again. Meanwhile, Curtis was dealing with his own predicament. Since the shooting that left him crippled, his worldview had changed. He'd had enough of the lies, of how people in Port Charles danced around the truth until it crushed everyone involved. And now he was sitting on a secret that he had no right to reveal, one that may change Willow's life forever. He hadn't intended to find out, actually. But overhearing talks at General Hospital and connecting the connections had led him to a frightening realization. Drew had twisted the truth regarding Willow's medical file, including some of the hazards she faced after the transplant. It was modest and virtually unnoticeable, a cover-up hidden behind bureaucracy and medical jargon, but the implications could have been fatal. Curtis understood instinctively that Willow had a right to know, so he approached her. He found Willow in the hospital, in one of the garden walks she used to visit between patient check-ins. Curtis's face was clouded with worry, despite the mild wind and the perfume of June hydrangeas in the air. Willow noticed it the moment he walked up. "Curtis? Is everything okay?" "No," he confessed. "I wish I didn't have to be the one doing this. But there's something you should know about Drew." She blinked, surprised. "What about him?" Curtis paused. There was no better way to put it, yet the longer he remained silent, the more she felt the weight of what was to come. So he talked plainly and deliberately. "When you were in treatment, there was something in your records, a test result, that indicated difficulties could occur if your medicine was altered after 6 months. Drew hid the report, despite the fact that your doctors should have detected it. I believe he did this to protect you and avoid panic. But it was wrong. And it was dangerous." Willow felt the ground move beneath her. She glanced at Curtis, her thoughts rushing to figure out what he'd just told her. "Are you saying that he kept this from me?" Curtis nodded seriously. "I am. And it's not all about the file. It is about trust. You need to know everything, especially from someone who claims to love you." The comments landed hard. Willow had placed a great deal of trust in Drew. He was there for her when things were at their worst. But if he could keep something so essential from her, what else was he hiding? She did not say anything more to Curtis. She simply thanked him, her words gentle and her countenance enigmatic. But within her heart was racing. She needed answers and only Drew could provide them. That night she approached him. Drew had just arrived home, eager to unwind after a long day, when Willow came through the doorway of his apartment with a gaze that stopped him cold. "What's wrong?" he asked. She did not respond immediately. Instead she gave him a folder. Curtis had printed a copy of the redacted medical report, which was clear as day. "Do you want to explain this to me?" she stated. Drew stared at the page and his stomach fell. "Willow, I can explain." "That's not a mistake," she interrupted. "You signed off on the adjustments. You had my records altered. You lied." He reached for her, but she backed away. Her hands trembled, but her voice remained calm. "I trusted you," she muttered. "You said I was safe. You said we would face everything together. And the entire time, you were making decisions behind my back." Drew attempted to justify himself. He talked about his worry of losing her again, and how the physicians assured him that the dangers were modest and controllable. But the more he spoke, the more she backed away. "It wasn't your decision," she finally said. "If you had told me the truth, I might have continued to trust you. What about now? I'm not even sure who you are anymore." She departed that night without saying goodbye. By dawn, the rumors had already begun. Nina's chat with Carly had been heated, full of accusations and strong threats, and it didn't take long for others to start murmuring about Willow and Drew's split. It seems that everything was unraveling at once. Willow remained to herself, spending more time with Wiley and Amelia, while avoiding queries from friends and relatives. Despite everything, Nina found herself throbbing with guilt. Not because she'd been mistaken, she still didn't think Drew was good for her daughter, but because it took something so awful for Willow to realize it too. Curtis, for his part, remained unaffected by the fallout. He did not regret telling Willow the truth. He just wished he didn't have to hurt her to accomplish it. Drew attempted to contact Willow several times during the next few days. He left voicemails, texted, and even went to the Coeur d'Alene gatehouse once, hoping she'd be eager to talk. But she never replied. She needed time, space, a moment to figure out who she was without his attempting to dominate the narrative. And Nina, for all her flaws, remained close by. Quietly, respectfully. She did not push, gloat, or use the opportunity to repair her relationship. She was just watching, waited, hoped. She understood deep down that this was not over. Poor Charles never rested for long. Emotions were always simmering just below the surface. Willow had to decide whether she could forgive Drew and let go of her expectations about him in order to go forward. One thing was certain: the truth had transformed everything, and nothing about Port Charles would ever be the same.